This week's daily race C has been one of the most hated dailies in a while, and you can clearly see the reason why. Group 1 cars at Watkins Glen, especially in the bus stop, just don't work. And in this video, I'll show you exactly why this daily got only 43% upvotes, when just the majority of the players were actually avoiding this combination. And not to even mention most of the top split players that didn't even do this one. Maybe time trials, but they completely avoided racing in here. So, my first race, I didn't really do that much practice. Probably it was my fault in the end, but I thought Group 1s are gonna handle like Group 1s always do. They are stable, they have a lot of grip, and they don't require a lot of braking. They're just very, very good cars to drive, and in the end they're quite easy to drive. So, I just jump into my first race. As you can see, I'm trying to go for my first move, and all of a sudden I realized why this track or this combination is so hated. So I went, well, I really didn't want to go for the move, but the driver in front of me almost stopped, and I just crashed into him while he lost the car completely. Okay, I got a place, but it just wasn't right. And somehow I got from P14 into P10. So 3 more drivers lost it in that first turn, which I kind of didn't see. Maybe they even rage quitted after all of this. Now I'm trying to go on the outside of this turn, and it's not exactly working. So you can see the driver in front of me. He is reasonably fast, he knows his lines, and once again I try to hold it on the outside of this turn. Still kind of learning my braking points, but I can see a lot of smoke up ahead. So I know it's not gonna be the cleanest race that I've ever seen. So looking to the inside of this turn, just maybe someone can make a mistake trying to kind of have a little look in here. Usually you don't brake in this turn, but I had to lift because I didn't have the right line, and I tapped the grass. The guy in front of me tapped it a little bit more and almost lost the car. So now I want to go on the outside once again, just to carry a little bit more speed and that momentum. He brakes very, very late, and in this situation, once again, I cannot really do much. But on the way out, I'm in the tow. I got a little bit of a slipstream, but so does he. You can see just a little bit of weaving around, and you know what? There is really nothing much that you can do once he gets the tow. So I just wanted to be a little bit more careful than usual, and yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as before. But now I got collected and I completely lost it, and yeah, almost ended up my race. But just for reference, I want to show you how the world leader is actually doing this turn. Completely flat out, 290 kilometers per hour. So yeah, I really don't know how to explain this one. So even if I drop the speed quite significantly, just imagine losing 50 kilometers per hour in one corner. And I just wanted to be careful, but it didn't work. And once again, I didn't cover down the inside and almost lost one more place. So the guy behind me clearly had a better line, and just I thought maybe I'm gonna lose it, maybe not, and I just applied the power too soon. But somehow I was able to defend it, but now he's got the inside of this turn, which is actually pretty good. Because, I mean, it's good for him, not good for me. So I'm trying to brake as late as I possibly can, second gear, and trying to push the car around the circuit. Just trying to push the car, because it does have a lot of downforce. You can eventually put the power and this car just won't go anywhere. It has incredible amount of grip, and just the downforce of this car is something that you don't usually see. But once again, you can see that I'm clearly not experienced on the circuit, and once again, I clip the grass and I lose it once again in the last corner, bringing me down into P10. So, lap 3 out of 6, and I'm kind of trying to recover this race. But you know what? Let's stop for a second and let's go back. And, well, it's kind of a deja vu moment from lap 1 and lap 2. The guy in front of me crashes and I'm getting a place. In the next lap, I really tried to push it to the limit of this turn, just a little bit slower than in the time trial, and you can see how much grip this car has. This is incredible. Oh, it's absolutely incredible at how much speed you can really carry into the bus stop. So you can see also that if you kind of lose it in the middle of the corner, with just trail brake a little bit more than you actually should, you start losing a lot of time. But I was still catching the leader. It was quite incredible. So even with all of those mistakes, I'm now, well, about 10 or even 9 seconds to the lead. Okay, at this point it was 10, but it was slowly dropping to 9 seconds. So, once again, lap 5 out of 6. Here we go again, but this time I'm not that lucky, and the car just goes wild, I guess. But you can also see that the leader made another mistake, and I didn't really lose that much time until I got this 1 second penalty. So, once again, I have to serve my penalty, and it's not gonna be a 1 second loss, it's usually a little bit more, and I'm thinking, am I gonna lose one more place? And luckily, the guy just behind me decided not to go for a move, and I was back, or I'm still in P7, but now he goes for it, he goes for the inside. I probably should have defended this one, and he pushes me a little bit wide into the fence. Not exactly the move that you want to see, but it did happen. I should have defended that one, and what can I even say? Once again, into the bus stop, and he now crashes. And I'm once again back into this P7. So, yeah, now I'm starting to realize why this is the most hated daily that we had in a while. And you can probably see the reason why. This car, it might seem stable in the qualifying, it's a rocket. But if you just get it slightly off that ideal line, you are pretty much done. And so this brings us into the second race that I've done. Now, I had a little bit more experience, I would say, but it's really hard to have any kind of experience in the bus stop. I mean, you can try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it simply doesn't work. But I try to give it a shot. So once again, I'm trying to get at least a couple of places. And already I can see some smoke in front of me, which is probably also one of the reasons why this is not getting as many upvotes, because it's just not as clean as you would expect. I mean, yeah, you're really not expecting Group 1s to be clean, but this is like too much. So I decided to leave it, you know, let it go. Maybe just decrease my speed in the beginning. Maybe I'm not going to crash. But then the drivers in front of me decided to stop in the middle of the bus stop. And again, having just about 100 kilometers per hour of difference is a lot. And yeah, I'm getting a 2-second penalty for this reason. So yeah, I decided to be careful. It didn't work. The guys dropped, well, 50 kilometers an hour more than I did, and I did lost, I would say, 50 kilometers per hour compared to the qualifying lap, around 40. So in total, they were 100 kilometers per hour slower than they actually should have been. You know what? If I'm gonna be reasonable, let's call it 70. But if someone is 70 kilometers per hour slower than you, what can you actually do in that turn? And once again, this is one of, well, we just can keep on adding these reasons why this is not the combination that you want to race on. And safety rating isn't really looking the best here, is it? Wow. And all of a sudden, I see this big pile of drivers in front of me. I decided to stop it like a lot more than usual. And still, for some reason, this guy in front of me gets a half a second penalty. And I'm not exactly sure why. But I decided to give it a shot, maybe send it on the inside. I know this is a hybrid, so he's probably going to have better acceleration than me, but somehow I get it into P11. And all of a sudden, I'm into the slipstream and chasing P10. But this race is far from over, and you really just don't know what's going to happen, because, yeah, you've seen my previous race, so just put 2 and 2 together. Once again, yellow flags, and yeah. This guy almost loses it in the bus stop. I go wide, he kind of pushes me a little bit onto the grass, but somehow I'm able to save it, and somehow I'm able to get into P10. Once again, I'm braking. The car gets very, very loose on the braking, especially if you downshift, and of course trail brake more than it's needed. And once again, I save it. Somehow I save it. So here, third gear, really pushing this car to the limit, and I can see these guys up ahead. They're probably not as quick as I am, but you never know. I mean, you can get a couple of places, but then you lose 5 places in just one corner. Or you get a 2-second penalty for hitting the guy in front of you. That is, well, yeah, this is actually getting a little bit weird, isn't it? But P10, I'm looking for, I would say, a reasonably good lap, but this time I'm not going to crash into the last turn, because I actually found a better line how to do this. Just brake a little bit, get it, coast, and it works, just if you coast. just don't brake and don't touch the grass. And it works. So, the hybrid in front of me, you can clearly see that the acceleration is there for the hybrids, but unfortunately they don't have the same cornering. So they're good on the straights, they got good acceleration, but when it comes to cornering speed, they just don't have it. And this is the difference. But once again, I decided to let it go because this is now what I do. But this time it was actually pretty clean, and I make this move, well, it was a clean move. And I'm thinking maybe I can even get this P8. So pulling down to the inside didn't really work, but now I'm trying to put the power down as soon as I can to get more speed on the way out. On the outside, it might actually work because this is a fast turn. Downshifting, rotating the car, you can see that it slides a little bit, and the key moment is to put the power down, and this car simply sticks. It has an incredible amount of downforce. It's just an incredible car to drive in these fast turns, and you just cannot believe how much downforce this car has. So I'm into P8, and I'm thinking maybe at this point I can even catch, maybe even up to top 5. Who knows? If someone makes a mistake, then I can eventually get a pretty good result out of this race. So let's see exactly what happens in here. I'm just trying to push it to the limit, and I finally found a way how to do this last corner right. So don't brake that much, just let it coast, and it actually works. But now we are again into the bus stop, and this time I kind of do it okay, but it's going to be a half a second penalty because I went over the line, which is the line of the track limits. And yeah, I think this one is actually deserved, but I serve my penalty, get it in. Well, yeah, okay, I'm not probably gonna comment on this one, but next lap, 5 out of 6, and I thought I would actually do it in a good way, but no, I crashed and got back into P10 with a lot of damage. So I'm starting to realize that I'm probably not gonna race here like ever again if this combo even comes up anytime soon. I really don't think it will, but who knows. So into P11, or kind of back to P11, just chasing the guy in front of me, and I think the goal now is just to get into the top 10 and don't crash, which is pretty difficult now, just when I'm thinking about it. And definitely I should have spent some time in the qualifying kind of perfecting the bus stop. But I've even seen some better drivers than me, someone that is actually really good, and how much it actually takes to lose the car. But now I send it down the inside, I say okay, maybe it can work, and this car has this amazing cornering. Just the hybrids cannot keep up. They got the speed on the straight, they got the acceleration, but this Bugatti has incredible cornering. And maybe this is one of the reasons that I just usually lose it at the bus stop, because it's super low. And once again, my final try, I try to get it right, I try to maybe stay stable this time, and it actually did work this time. But now I can see a lot of yellow flags, but unfortunately they didn't lose as much time as I needed to get into like P7, maybe P8, and I can see like 3 drivers in front of me. But you know what, let's just bring it home, let's not crash anymore, because it was really too much. So this 10-minute race is an absolute nightmare, and if anyone is doing it, good luck to you guys. But please let me know what do you think about this race, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, or you might even want to subscribe. And until the next time, bye.